Hello, anyone that's looking for a portable fan. Honestly, I'm not going to use this as a portable fan. I'm going to use it to help me dry paint on my little model parts. I do have a food dehydrator and that works great, but that's really good for, complete assemblies and drying a lot of parts at one time. But sometimes I just need to paint like an interior of a 1/64 scale car, and I don't need to turn on this whole food dehydrator just to dry that one piece. So I was walking through a shopping mall and I saw this thing and they had one on display and I thought it was amazingly powerful. Like it could be a hair dryer. I mean, it was incredible. So I bought it. It was on sale also. It was around $60, but this was around $12 I guess, maybe $15. So you can try to find it wherever you can. Anyways, I think the brand is called KiCA or KiCA, I'm not sure, but Jet Fan 2, I guess they must have had an earlier one. It's got 2 nozzles, low noise, large battery, powerful airflow. So let me get this stuff off here so we can read the specs or whatever's going on in the back of this thing. Actually, do the same on the other box. I think they had different colors, but I literally got the last one at the shop, so I just, whatever, I don't care about the colors. I see a lot of people around where I live watching with all sorts of fans because it's pretty hot here in the tropics. Alright, this is a vacuum accessory thing. Nice quality box. It's so quality, the vacuum inside of it was quite powerful. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Instructions version 1.2. I gotta redo this camera angle here, hold on. Oh, apparently I got a blue one. QR stuff. Oh, alright, yeah, if you want to check, maybe you can scan it through my video here. And in Chinese as well. So some diagrams here. There's really only 2 switches, so it's not that difficult. There's a high, low speed, and you can change how far you go. It's a slide switch, so you can adjust how powerful you want it to be. The bottom one is the power on, and then here, yeah, so you have some indicators. Okay, and then it's a USB-C charger. What I'm interested in is the specs. It runs between 12 and 16 volts. Its capacity is 1100, so it's probably an 18650 battery in there. Supposedly charges in 3.5 hours, weighs 300 grams. I think it's made of aluminum, the body that is. And here we go. The revolution is 101,000 RPM, plus or minus 10%. Well, I want to know the CFM, like how much air the thing moves. The impression to me was it was a lot. It's not waterproof, so keep that in mind. Don't just leave it around, a wet bathroom sink or whatnot. And then the rest is just a whole bunch of other languages, so okay. This is some high quality foam. It's like really some of the nicest foam I've ever seen used in packaging. It's amazing, but unfortunately that probably cost me a lot of money. They're making you buy expensive garbage. Again, this is extremely nice foam, but unfortunately I bought it. It would have been just as good for me if it was all cardboard, so I can throw it away and not feel guilty. Here's a little charge cable, very short. I think it's maybe meant for power banks. I think this is really meant for people to walk around with and cool themselves off. So now we have the 2 nozzle tips. This one does definitely help. This one I didn't find very useful against my face, but I think for blowing out a keyboard or something, it would be impressive. Alright, let's get the vacuum attachment. I don't think it's really designed to be a vacuum, but I bought it anyways because since it was the last set, I figured I'd just get it, maybe just try it out. Because I'm always vacuuming up parts here when I'm doing my model builds, clipping off the little plastic nubs off my model kits. And I do have 2 other vacuums that do work, but yeah, we'll see. This one just seems smaller and more powerful than the small one I have. we'll get to the vacuum later. Alright, let's see. Oh. Alright, so that's just the vacuum assembly. Let's get into the fan. So we already saw the dimensions and the tech specs there. It feels, you know, pretty good in the hand. I wear an extra large glove, and but I think anyone, even a kid, could easily handle this. It is definitely aluminum. It's got a nice feel to it. Yeah, it's not plastic. Nope, the ends are also metal. Yeah, so this is high quality. You could drop it, it probably wouldn't break. You'd scratch it, of course, but... Oh, let's see. And it's actually been approved by the European Community, FCC. Yeah, okay. So to power it on, you just hold the thing on. Now I turned on my decibel meter here. Hold on. Maybe I'm gonna just put this like a foot away from that phone. Right now the wind is actually facing me because that's probably the intended purpose. And at this, I can feel it. It's a nice cool breeze for sure. And it's around 59, 60 decibels. I'm gonna crank it up. So you see it got up to like 80 dB. That's not as loud as a vacuum cleaner. So considering how much wind I felt, it was quite impressive. Now the challenge for me is to show you how much wind this can produce. It's hard to... I actually ordered a wind meter because after I bought this, but it might take a month for that to show up. So I might do a different video of this versus my Basius vacuum cleaner. So here's the first test. This is just a cloth shower curtain. It's fabric. It's not a vinyl thing or anything like that. It's fabric. But I am about 1 meter away, or a little over 3 feet from this thing, and I'm going to hold this thing on right here. So that's 3 feet away. You're never going to hold something 3 feet away. Maybe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No, probably not. So hold on. This is a Christmas tree. Pretty lame Christmas tree, but whatever. So we're even further away. I'm gonna get closer. Now this is like my whole arm. And I'm still holding it where the camera is. So that is further away than you would ever use it. So this is probably like where I would... More like this distance. So it's quite powerful. Actually, I can feel the thing torquing, trying to torque out of my hand. Is that powerful? So, you know, since it is hard for me to explain how powerful the thing is, I thought I'd try to quantify it a little bit. So these are 0.20 gram airsoft BBs. They're ceramic BBs. Each one weighs 0.2 grams. And so I'm basically going to put this next to this ruler. The bottom of this bowl is roughly around the 0 of this top chart here, right? And we're going to see what distance it is before it starts blowing the BBs out of that smooth bowl. So you're going to have to, you know, look here and where this edge is, and let's see what happens. Moving. I had to guess, somewhere around the 50 centimeter mark. Or what is this? 150 centimeters. Okay, I think I lost one BB, but I think we're good. Alright, so now let's try the, nozzle here. I'll make sure you put it on the blue side because the screen side is the vacuum side. I would say it's like 158 or so. So that means it's much more powerful, right? Because it's a further distance away, because it's concentrating the air in that smaller thing. So the battery died as I was doing this tiny one. I also decided to just put a sticker on. So it takes 3.5 hours to run it at a low speed, and then it also takes the same amount of time to charge it all up again. But I already know this thing doesn't work, so I'm going to show you at full speed again what's going to happen here. Right, it's so concentrated, the air, and I think maybe this opening is so small that possibly I think a lot of the wind is actually going out the back. It's building up too much pressure and the rest is just getting pushed out the back. So this is very special for very random, tight purposes. To cool your face, or I don't think it would work at all. Maybe, I don't know what it would be used for. So let's go in reverse order. This one I think is the most effective one for getting a lot of wind out. It's concentrating it, but it's not pushing out any air at the back, I don't think. So again, let's make sure that's at full. Yeah, found that BB. So unfortunately I don't have a really deep, clear dish or whatever bucket to do this in. So this one's going to have to be a little closer because it's not concentrating the air, but it's still very effective, I think it's still good, for carrying around. This is a little bit bulkier, of course. Right? So, yeah, I think what I've learned at least is maximum air is this. Maximum portability is this. This, very unique situations, not for me. Okay, so I got someone with a hair dryer and actual hair extensions. So now we can get an idea how well this works and could possibly replace a hair dryer. I guess heat is not good for hair. I don't really care because I have short hair. But basically I'm going to turn this on, crank it all the way up, and I'm going to put the nozzle at this corner so the distance will be generally the same. Okay, so that's, sorry for the tripod shaking. That's that thing. And then let's do this one. I think it's more powerful because it's not spinning around. It's like going quite far. All right. Well, anyways, that's the best way I think I could represent, how powerful this compact thing is. I'm actually putting a lot of time into this review. I've just never seen a fan this small, this powerful. It's quite interesting. So the reason why I don't expect this to work well as a vacuum is because the filter is so small. I reviewed this Basius vacuum cleaner earlier, and it works. Obviously, it works still. But when I was cleaning out my car, there's so much dirt and stuff in my carpeting that it ended up clogging up the HEPA filter. So, where is it here? So all that, fine dust and dirt clogged up the fabric, and so the motor goes a little crazy and then it shuts itself down. That's how you know you need to clean the filter out. And I'm not talking just tapping it and dusting it out. I would tap it, dust it out, and then I put some water from the inside out, and I basically rinsed all the dust out of this thing, and now it works fine again. But this filter is so small that it just clogs up very easily. In fact, it looks like it's the same size, if not smaller, than the one in this. So it's possible this actually might be better. But, I mean, only, like, cleaning your front 2 car mats, and the thing was all clogged up with dirt. Granted, I had some pretty dirty car mats because I walk around in mud parking lots and stuff sometimes. So that's why I don't think these micro vacuum cleaners are really good long term, unless you happen to have like a spare HEPA filter and you can just pop it in place quickly. But basically you kind of have to clean the filter and then let it dry out for a few days before you use it again. So we'll do a little comparison here for the vacuuming, but you can just see the size difference here in a moment. I was charging this a little bit. By the way, a red light comes on when you plug it in and charge it. This is a massive difference in size. I mean, this probably has 4 18650s in it, so that's why it's big and it'll last a lot longer. But I don't know. I have a feeling this fan technology might be better. I don't know. Or maybe it's the same in here as well, but it's just massive. It's so much smaller. It's very heavy though still. Alright, well anyways, this actually screws on. So knowing that this is the inlet with the screen, you obviously want to put the vacuum cleaner on this side. If you put it on this side, it's just going to blow through a HEPA filter for no reason. Unless I guess you want to breathe cleaner air, get dust out of the air. So that's pretty much in there. Okay, so you can obviously use it this way without the attachment. Same with this. So without the attachment. So for me, I'm going to just use rice as my standard. Usually I'm just cleaning up, plastic Gundam parts. Alright. Let's see at what distance these start to suck up rice. Let me get a different angle here. So this has 2 speeds. I'm going to put it on the high speed. There, make it touch the table. That was the high speed. So right around that distance is where it picked up. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to make this touch the table, and then we'll see what happens. So I'm actually going to turn this on at full speed. So it had to be closer. The Basius is more powerful. It makes sense, right? Again, I'm not expecting this to be the greatest vacuum cleaner. So just to get the camera here, it's a little bit closer, right, than the Basius. The Basius is more like right here, and yeah, I think the Basius is a better vacuum cleaner because that's what it's intended to be, a vacuum cleaner. Okay, now they both have attachments though, so the smaller the funnel, or this is actually maybe, well, I guess it is smaller than this funnel because it's actually going inside of this. Right? And now this one, obviously, is going to be a lot smaller. And that just goes in like this. So let me reset the rice. Okay, Basius. Right around there. And this thing. Again, it had to be closer than the Basius. A little bit. Yeah, quite. Yeah, it had to be much closer, actually. So, really, I think, you know, you could use this as like a vacuum cleaner for what I'm going to do. Clean up Gundam parts. Or you could clean up your keyboard. You know, all the weird dust that gets inside of a keyboard. Possibly, you know, detail work, like in nooks and crannies of a car. But trying to clean a whole car with this thing, you're going to just clog up that filter very, very quickly, I think. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so very similar to the Basius, you got to do a little twist here, and you can get the cover off like that. And then, you know, pop this out. And right. So there's a little rubber gate here, just like the Basius has. There's no index for the filter, which is convenient. You just put it in. So let's just show it vacuuming some rice. Now, amazingly, it actually vacuumed all that rice, which is pretty amazing because it's actually covering up the entire filter. But you know, since the rice isn't full of dust, air could still get through. So that I was not expecting whatsoever. Very impressive. I know the Basius will do it because it literally has a metal screen in front of that filter. So that's actually quite unexpected that it would clean up that many parts. Well, grains of rice. And then it has this attachment, which actually does have an index, up and down, so you can do either way. Okay, so that's the vacuum part of it. I guess, you know, if you are really obsessive about being clean in your workspace, you know, for your computer and stuff, this is quite effective because it is so much easier to handle than this. Because I don't really even think you need this if you're going to just get close to everything, right? This is, I think, a lot smaller than the Basius thing. Okay, so now we're going to do a test of the runtime at maximum speed. What's weird is I charged this once and the light turned to a constant green. That's how I knew it was charged. But now I've had this thing plugged in for 8 hours, and I added and removed this thing several times. I then turned it on and ran it for like 2 minutes and then plugged it in again and charged it for another 3 hours. It's not turning green anymore, so that's a little disturbing. It's been charging so long I have to believe that the battery is at full capacity right now. So I'm going to start this little stopwatch and obviously fast forward this video. I have this little piece of string just so we know that's really working. Also make a note. air does come out of these 6 little holes on the bottom. So that's what's cooling off the electronic controller. So you don't want to put your thumb there and block off the heat. The instructions say you don't want to block off any of the ventilation, because it's going to make it heat up very fast and probably destroy something. Okay, well, let's hit start here. Okay, I'll have to note where it stopped, but it was around 5 minutes. And here's a little thermal reader. 33 Celsius or Fahrenheit. It gets to 90 or so Fahrenheit. It's warm. I mean, it's not hot or anything like that. It's just warm. So again, I think the metal body is there for a reason. Okay, so yeah, 3.5 hours on low speed, around 5 minutes on maximum speed, which I think is still pretty good. I mean, for even blow drying your hair. Who blow dries their hair for 5 minutes with a tornado? But for me, I'm gonna use it for painting. Well, I got some bad news, guys. The thing's dead. It doesn't work. And it's only after like charging it 2 or 3 times. So even during this video, I mentioned earlier, I charged it once and the light turned green, indicating that it was charged. But the second time I tried to charge it, it never turned green. So that's indicative of a problem. But I did manage to charge it. So I did actually paint the model. And it was awesome. Like, it would dry out rattle can clear coat within seconds to be able to touch the model. But I didn't think to film it because I just wanted to finish up that model. But now I've tried charging it for the 3rd time and it will not hold a charge. It's just completely dead. So the charge light does come on. It's red there. This has been charging overnight. So we're talking like 20 hours. Actually, I started charging it yesterday. And it simply will not go on. I also noticed the slider switch is completely loose now. So I don't know. It also isn't really very easy to manipulate as a fan to dry off other things, because if this is the exhaust port and I'm holding my model here, the slide switch is up front. It's not in the back. So you have to do like this sort of thing. I thought about gluing on like a jewel bead, but it doesn't even matter anymore because the thing doesn't work. I can only hope this is an anomaly. I'm going to guess these are more reliable than this. Maybe the dealer dropped it. I went around to try to return it, but they simply don't even have any inventory in this country. So I threw away the original packaging and the receipt, so I don't think they would have helped me anyways, but that's my own fault, of course. So if you do buy one of these, keep the packaging, keep the receipt, just in case. It has a 1-year warranty supposedly, but I can't even do anything because even if they take it back, there's no inventory in this country. So I'm gonna send this video off to KiCA themselves and ask them if they can help me, because I really like this thing. I want to love it, but I mean, within 3 instances of charging it, or even 2, it just doesn't work. It's totally dead. So that's unfortunate. So now I went on AliExpress, and there's a ton of other ones that are possibly might be even more powerful than this. But I highly doubt they're as portable as this. They don't look as portable. So it's a possibility I might order some of those. And then I even bought a wind meter. I wanted to test this out, you know, but I can't. So I went and bought a cheap one. This thing cost me around $60 in the high $50 range. This thing cost $10. It's not going to be remotely as fast. This will be a separate review, of course. I'll do that one later. So keep that in mind, guys. Hopefully you have better luck and it works. It seems like a fantastic idea. But if these things break within a few days. This is a lot of expensive garbage now that's polluting the planet. So that's why I'm posting this video. If they if KiCA actually sends me a replacement and it works fine, then I'll do an update, or I'll just do a completely new review and just call this a fluke instance. So thank you for watching today. We'll see you in the next random gadget review. Bye.